It's time for The Engine, powered by Junior Achievement of Western Massachusetts, bringing you insights and interviews from entrepreneurs and innovators to help you own your economic success.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Engine. I am your host, Thom Fox, solutionist. I solve the mystery how to turn your hard work into success. You can learn more at my website, which is thomfox.com. That's THOMFOX.com. And the show is brought to you by Junior Achievement of Western Massachusetts, where we help kids own their economic success. We teach them financial literacy, work readiness, and, of course, entrepreneurship. To learn more about Junior Achievement, please visit jawm.org. Today we are joined by Natasha Clark of Lioness Magazine. So you're the founder of Lioness Magazine.
I am the founder and the creator.
Founder, creator.
And now I'm the publisher.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you've been... Lioness Magazine has been around for a few years. Mm-hmm. You have gone through some of the Valley Venture Mentor programs.
Yep.
You had an opportunity to go out to speak at the Lean Launchpad conference. Was there a Lean? I don't know if it was a Lean Launchpad conference, but it was a conference
Lean Startup Conference.
Lean Startup Conference, mm-hmm. Which I'm sure would have been pretty cool. And I loved that stuff. So I saw when you went out there, I was kind of jealous. I was like, I would go out there all day long to about
Come
Lean
next
Startup.
time.
Come on.
We went and we did some mentoring.
And that's great stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us about Lioness Magazine, what you're doing, because the reason I brought up some of the other things is because your magazine is actually about entrepreneurship as well. Mm-hmm. Entrepreneurship from the female perspective.
Correct.
Obviously anybody could read it. There's really good lessons to be gleaned from each of the articles in there. It's not necessarily gender. Well, some are gender based. How to pick out the right pantsuit. Hillary Rodham Clinton. She's going to read that. I'm not. But it's commonsensical in a sense. And the other reason I like it too is because you get an opportunity, and sometimes I think, and I'm just saying this, mm-hmm. I think women have been overlooked by and large when it comes to entrepreneurship. We look levels of funding is down for female entrepreneurs, and there's many arguments where that could be is confidence, whatever, they're getting enough opportunities. But I think it's important to remember that when we're looking at building something new and we're building ventures, there's no set model. There's not an agenda that says, oh, this is going to be successful or anything like that. Absolutely. It comes down to the idea and the person, the drive, their willingness to succeed. And I honestly find women to be far better strategists than men. Just what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I see a different logic that goes into thought process. There's more empathy that goes into it. And larger understanding, I think, before they take a big leap. But that's why I think your magazine is important. Because you're able to get that information that you need. And from that perspective, sometimes that can help jumpstart.
And I think also just trying to build a community of support. I mean, for myself, when you go to a lot of entrepreneurial events, and I think now the climate is starting to really shift, but I would go and I wouldn't see anybody in the room who really looked like me, whether that was just having another person of color there, but specifically women. There wouldn't be many of us there. At Lioness, our goal is to not only provide these women with the latest news and knowledge and tools that they need to launch startups or scale their enterprise, but also to be there for them in terms of having sisters sharing their stories and offering one another resources and just giving each other support.
So now, if one of our listeners here were to open up Lioness Magazine, mm-hmm. what are they going to see inside of it?
So we give you everything, like I said, from the latest news and the latest headlines in terms of business news and entrepreneur news and so on. But specifically, we try to have either women tell their own story. So we have entrepreneurs who submit their own columns or write one-time pieces around their area of expertise, whether it's marketing, leadership, finance, venture capital. We also have interns who come in and they have the opportunity to interview some of these entrepreneurs and share their stories and their best practices and their tips and so on. And then, like I said, the resources P is really, really key. So we try to let you know about accelerated programs that are going on or events or funding opportunities, different places that women can go and get the resources that they need. The National Women's Business Council last year put out a really, really important report. And one of the key points in there was that a lot of women aren't really taking opportunities of accelerated programs. There are starting to be some programs that are just geared towards women, but the opportunity for them to get the skills and the knowledge that they need to launch these startups. We want to encourage women to really, really go to places like Valley Venture Mentors or Mass Challenge and try to flush out their idea and get the expertise that they need from people who've done it before.
You know, you bring up accelerator programs. There's also a report that came out that said that accelerator programs basically have a null effect on startups by and large throughout the country. Part of the challenge I see with a report like that is when you make a blanket statement like that and you put everybody, lump it in, you miss out on the ones that really do shine. So when you're looking for an accelerator program, some of the things that I recall, it's a bandwidth. If it's a network, people don't. At least from what I was gleaning from this article, because I have a very different experience locally with the programs that go on here.
Right.
People are very open to, hey, how can I help you out? Oh, can I make a connection with somebody? Mass Challenge, a beautiful job of that. Valley Venture Mentors, which based a lot of their programs on Mass Challenge, kept that same kind of goodwill. So not every accelerator program is built the same.
Right.
So it's important to research these the programs that are the resources that are out there, and this all starts with good content like you're going to find in Lioness Magazine. Information that's not just aggregated from different sources, but these are people that are going through these, or women. Right. Is it women and men that can submit articles, or
we do? So there are men who contribute pieces, but also we have featured male entrepreneurs who. Maybe they've developed really cool software that any entrepreneur can benefit from, right? And we've also featured male social entrepreneurs whose companies are focused on solely helping women. So I believe that men are our allies.
Well, yeah, listen, all depends on what Facebook stream you're reading. Well, no, just. Let me tell you something. Oh, I'm sorry. The relationship aspect of life between men and women always gets me like,
right. It's a whole different show.
Oh my god. So I mean, but that's and maybe that's part of it that leads to this. This stupid thing that was on Facebook the other day was like a bunch of ladies working out in the 1950s, and they're all strapped in these stupid machines, and they're like rolling pins, rolling up and down, and it's like we've objectified.
Right.
Women and I guess in a sense, or not in a sense, but even before that, people of color and things like that. When we objectify people, we tend to really strip them of their basic decency. So I think it's important to realize that male, woman, African American, I don't care what you are.
Right.
If you're a good person, you're going towards good things, and let's help them out. And I think that's why local programs like this are important to entrepreneurship, is because. In one aspect, there's some mentorship programs that's there to make sure that it's built for the entrepreneur, not the venture. And there's other, like the Accelerate program that's local, that's more so built for the venture and not the entrepreneur. Not everybody should own a business, or the idea that you have might suck.
Right,
and that's okay.
Right.
At least you find that out in the beginning. I'd rather find out that it sucks on Jump Street than after I put 2 years of my life and treasure into it.
Absolutely.
So it's tough. It's really tough. But when it comes to women, it seems like there's an extra barrier there. And that's where, I think that we're really losing out. There's a entrepreneur I talked to, Free Like Birdie. She has a really cool travel bag that's for kids, and it's like microbiological. I don't know. But you can't smell the poop. Right. That's all I know.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is really good, because it says if you travel on a 4-hour flight, you won't be smelling the poop.
Yeah.
But there's these ideas that come out of everywhere, and the only way that we really succeed is if we give those ideas good bandwidth and we get them into right places. So your magazine, giving these resources and connecting them is important. Now, if I remember correctly, you are the only female, or you're the only magazine geared towards females specifically for entrepreneurship? Because I know there's like entrepreneur women, but it's like a subsection of a website.
Absolutely. So one of the reasons that I got it started is after I was a news reporter for a while, I started doing public relations with a bunch of female entrepreneurs, and it wasn't something that was planned. It just worked out that way. And I noticed whenever they got together, they would share like best tips and best practices and so on. And I was really naive at the time. I'm like, why don't you just read Inc., or a Fast Company? And they said, well, we do, but those are geared towards guys. And I was like, I never really paid attention to that. So I went out on the internet and I started doing some research and stuff, and there are tons of women in business publications, but there was no media outlet that was solely dedicated to, females who are launching startups or looking to scale them. And I thought that was really interesting. And so I put together this model cover, and I thought it looked good at the time, and I sent it out and said, okay, if this existed, would you guys read it? And they not only said that they would, but a few of them said that they would help me launch it. And, literally like 3 months later, we did like a soft launch issue. So
And how many issues you have right now?
I don't even know what issue number we're on, but
We got going for a few years. So,
yeah, we did a soft launch in August 2011, so we're getting up there now. Maybe 50-something issues, and we've been having good growth with the website. So last year we had over 24,000 readers for the year, which is good for us. Yeah.
So we're gonna take our first break in a couple of moments, but before we do, we just want to let people know. So where is the website? Where can people go find out more?
You could go right to lionessmagazine.com, LIONESS magazine.com.
And when they get there, it's really simple to follow. You can find back issues, all that stuff like that.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to come back. We're going to continue our conversation with Natasha Clark from Lioness Magazine. You're listening to The Engine on News Radio 560. Hello, and welcome back to The Engine on News Radio 560 WHYN. I am your host, Thom Fox. I solve the mystery of how you turn hard work into success. Visit my website, thomfox.com, THOMFOX.com, to learn more. Also, the show is brought to you by Junior Achievement of Western Massachusetts, where we help kids own their economic success. They teach kids financial literacy, work readiness, and, of course, entrepreneurship. Learn more about Junior Achievement by visiting jawm.org. So, we're talking to Natasha Clark from Lioness Magazine, and we were talking about the launch of her magazine. You had a soft launch in 2011. You got a whole bunch of issues under your belt. How have you worked to find? You said that when you launched, you had some people that were going to be contributors and so on like that. How easy is it that you find people to come in and provide content? Do you find that women entrepreneurs or even men that do some articles for you, is it easy to find people that want to come and share their best practices?
I think that it is easy. But I also think that matching the right person and the right content takes a little time. But
what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, for instance, and some people will probably kill me over this, but so there are a lot of people who have blogs, right? Mm-hmm. But being a blog doesn't make you a journalist, right? So we try to make sure that all of our stories are Associated Press style, and so just because you write a blog doesn't necessarily mean that you're a news reporter. So there's a difference. So we do two types of writers. We do ones who there are experts and they're contributing column style pieces, but then we also have literal news reporters writing pieces. So it's a matter of making sure that the writer's writing the appropriate content in the appropriate style and for the appropriate place. Because the other thing was, since we launched our website, we still do publish a monthly edition, but now we also publish daily news. So maybe your piece might not be a good fit for the monthly magazine, but it might be an excellent fit for the website.
I see. So now so now this is building up to be, it sounds like, more than just a magazine. I mean, are you a full content provider now? Right.
Well, we provide daily news, and so we're getting news off the news wires that are coming out daily. Lioness has grown. Like I said, I didn't know what it was going to be. So going through a Valley Venture Mentors really helped me kind of flush some ideas out. And of course, because I don't have a co-founder, all of my ideas sounded genius, right? And, right? They sound amazing. I'm like, Natasha, you're awesome. And then I would go to VVM and somebody would say, why are you doing that? That's the dumbest thing ever. In a nice way, but you know what I'm saying. So it was good for me to get that pushback because I didn't have that before. And so we had some columns and things that we were doing in the beginning that we got rid of once I went to VVM because it didn't make sense with the direction we were moving in. And launching the website, what was happening before the launch of the website was, one, Lioness didn't have its own home, but two, we were getting a lot of press releases and all of this stuff sent to us, and it was no way that we were able to fit all of this into a monthly magazine. So it was like, but this is really good information. What do we do with the rest of it? And so launching the website and providing daily news made the most sense.
All right. Well, when you look at where you're going with things now, so now you've got your daily news provider in some aspects. Mm-hmm. You're also doing this monthly content. How do you find that balance now?
So what's been happening is that in terms of the magazine, we really want to focus on featuring amazing female entrepreneurs and telling their stories and have them educate women on how they got to where they did. Because when we got feedback from our readers, that was one of the things that they said that they loved. We like to see successful people. We want to know how they did it. We want tips from them. And we try to really provide that in the monthly magazine. So that has kind of evolved into a place where we're doing more storytelling. Whereas on the daily website, it's, okay, maybe this VC just funded this new startup. We're giving you news. You know, this is what's happening in California today. This is amazing event in New York. If you're, you know, a tech startup, you definitely want to be there. That's kind of what the daily website has turned into more so.
So you get the news that's coming out. You've got the overall magazine experience that you have. What are you doing next? Do you have some? Is there a next step for Lioness, or you know?
Right now, you know, Don Leaks just came on as our director of customer development. So 2015. We're really looking to delve into how do we really engage these women, what is, I should say, the best way to serve them, and that's what we intend to focus on in 2015. We've been getting really good responses. Like, you know, last year we became a partner with Startup Nation, which was huge for us. We also became a partner with Tech Week, and earlier this year, Springboard Enterprises. So we're looking not only to expand our partnerships, but make sure that we're serving the women who are going to those events, who are participating, you know, in Startup Nation and all of these things. Make sure that we're able to serve them best, because one of the reasons that these people say that they're partnering with us is Startup Nation doesn't have to partner with Lioness. You're known. You know, you're one of the #1 resources on the web for entrepreneurs, period. You're partnering with us because they're saying what you're doing doesn't exist right now. You know, we want to be a part of helping you serve women entrepreneurs. Tell us how to do that. And so we want more of that. We want to know, you know, we're asking women, what do you want? How can we give it to you? And so that's what I'm really looking forward to in 2015 in discovering.
You know, the one thing I think I appreciate, and I think your story kind of, something that's been in the news that's been bugging me is the, what's her name? The Britt McHenry. You see that whole meltdown with the ESPN reporter?
I heard about it, but I don't know what happened.
So she got caught on camera basically telling some tow truck attendant that she's worthless because she's got a minimum wage job and don't you know who I am, and the most ugliest things I've heard. And it's been bugging me for a bit just because I guess I take it for granted that in Western Massachusetts, I connect with a lot of people that are like, hey, how can I help you? And so when you tell a story about Startup Nation, to your point,
right,
like you said, I don't need you. But it's not about that. It's like, hey, how can I help you?
Right.
You're going to help me. We seem to get farther in life when we're more so looking how to bring people up as opposed to tearing them down. And I think that's why this is captured national attention. One, because she was an idiot. She got caught on camera. And the lady said to her, you're on camera. And she's going, don't you know who I am? I'm on ESPN. And, you know, do I need to drop out of college to get a minimum wage job like you I mean, just like the ugliest things. You know, she may be pretty on the outside, but she's damn ugly on the inside. It's that ugliness that I've seen in business that I despise. And I think that's why I enjoy an entrepreneurial renaissance that we're seeing in places like Western Massachusetts around the country, because it's more so about people, how do we help each other? How do I get you there? You know, how do I, you look at Valley Venture Mentors and the people that they bring in. They're not sitting there trying to tear down your business. They're asking you questions. They really can't answer anything for you. All they can really do is almost like a good therapist. Well, it's great that you want to do that. Tell me how that looks. What does that mean down the road? And you start to fill in those blanks going, wow, all right, so here's someone that built the business, and they're basically showing me this big pothole that I'm not looking at.
Right.
And they're not sitting there going, your idea is bad or things like that. I mean, some might, but
they give you something to think about.
Yeah, they give you stuff to think about. So that's real important. I think that's why it's, when you look at things like that, I would say when you're looking to work with good people, there is a tremendous benefit to that, male, female, the right accelerator, things like that. You have to do a lot of due diligence in that fact. And I think one of the good places that you can start is Lioness Magazine. Go there, read the resources, learn more about this, reach out to Natasha, her team over there. You may have a great article to talk about. It could be something, like you said, it could be a nice little one-off column, or it could be a more in-depth news piece. But the more that we share the resources and the influence that we have in the area to help others succeed, honestly, a whole area benefits from that.
Right.
So I applaud you in the work that you're doing, and hope
Thank
you keep
and what you're doing.
No. Hey, listen, one of my favorite statements is came from you. It's this is mine to. It's mine to lose, I think you said a long time ago.
Mine to lose,
and when you look at it that way, you're like, you know what, it is.
Yeah.
So, listen, again, give them the website. We're on our way out.
LionessMagazine.com, and we're available on all social media outlets.
All right. You're listening to The Engine on News Radio 560 WHYN. We'll be right back.